Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's open forum. I'm very excited to see you all here today. I've got some good news and bad news for you all. The bad news is I had a guest lined up, and as of Monday, she let me know that she was 80% in, and then yesterday she was 75% in, and then today she is 0% in. So that's why I didn't put her on the invitation and build her up for the presentation. And more bad news actually is I've got to go forward with this subject for today. Normally that wouldn't be, this happens all the time. Normally it wouldn't be a problem and we just do it later. But I've got to go forward with this presentation today because next week, start to say tomorrow, next week we start with our goals. I know you guys are excited about goals. Attendance always dwindles for the goals, partly because it's during the holidays and partly because a lot of people don't like to do goals. But here we are, and I've got, that was the bad news. Oh, the good news is we're going to go forward with this anyway. I don't know if that's good news or not. But the good news is usually when we have to do this, and I don't know if you guys can always tell when I throw stuff together at the last minute, but that is what I'm doing today. And with AI, it's a lot better than it used to be. But this turned into, these normally turn into some of our best sessions where you guys do a lot more of the interaction. So I appreciate that. And that's why I love the cameras on. And if you guys can, that would be great. Especially when I'm just kind of winging it today. So let's, I did not have time to make this into any kind of fancy PowerPoint or anything like that, but I will, let me share my screen with you and get going. So what we're going to talk about today is jumpstarting our business, getting ready for next year. I've had some of you guys talk to me recently about what am I going to do with how am I going to build up my business? How am I going to get started? And I've told you these things, and I love this because a lot of the information, you know, this is just common real estate stuff, but also completely backs up the things I've been saying to you guys as far as some of the social media stuff to do, some of the free things you can do, some of the inexpensive things that do great return on investment for your marketing dollars. And that's what it's all about. So those of you kind of more new with us here at FRI, I've been talking to all of you guys for almost 11 years now about, look, we're a 100% company. We don't take 20, 30, 40% of your commission. I want you to take that money, pretend that we took it, and put that money toward marketing yourselves rather than marketing, you know, Keller Williams or Coldwell Banker or Florida Realty Investments. Put that toward marketing Tammy or Daryl or Juliana, right? Not them, just whatever your name is. So, although Daryl would appreciate it, put that money toward marketing yourself and growing your own business, and you'll never be broke. If you take a $10,000 commission, gross commission, and we're not taking $3,000 of it, if you put that $3,000 into marketing yourself, along with all the free stuff, you'll turn that into a couple of deals. And it sounds like a pyramid scheme. You turn one deal into two more and two more into four more, but it's all you. So it's not a pyramid scheme. It's all your money. It's all you. It's all your success. And that is why a lot of you guys are doing well on referrals and stuff like that, because you've been doing this for a while, and it grows and it grows and it grows. So that's, I'm talking about, that's two different ways. The activity, the success. And that's why I don't mind some of you guys working for cheaper. If you do it, your first couple of deals, work for cheaper, get a client base, get some referrals out of these people, make them really happy. That's good business that's growing your business. And I know you got to pay your bills in the meantime, but this is a great way to grow your business. So this is a little bit of a passion of mine. So you'll hear me get pretty excited, and I will try to slow down. I know some of you are not English first. I will try to slow down and speak at a slower speed because I get excited about this stuff. This is sales 101, but it's for realtors, and it's really good. So all I ask this is, hey, I'm a realtor in Florida. What it knows this about me because I have an account with it. You can see all the things that I talk about over here: auto insurance rates, training topics, etc. You can see what I talk to it about. So I'm going to actually blow this up a little bit so you guys can read it better. All right. I'm a realtor in Florida. What can I do to jumpstart my business? This is basic stuff, guys. Pick one main lead pillar and a backup. If you try to do 10 things, you'll do none of them well. For Florida, the fastest jumpstart pillars tend to be your sphere, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago, right? I'm going to skip past that because we talked about that. If you want to talk more about that, you can go look at go on YouTube and see our sphere that we did, I think 3 weeks ago. You know, who do you know that's thinking about making a move in the next 6 to 12 months? We talked about that. You know, what's next for you guys? You know, do you guys have any friends or family that might be in need of my service, you know, in the next whenever, right? Local listings, and it doesn't have to be right now. It can be 6 or 12 months out. Local listings and open houses. These are fastest buyer leads. You guys, I look, I know you guys have been slow. It's the holidays, etc. Get out there and work these open houses. We're seeing open houses. A lot of you guys are offering open houses and people are not jumping on them. We have agents who should be jumping on these. They are working right now. These people, if you think there's people out there, you can't have it both ways. If you think there are people out there that won't sign buyer brokerage agreements, then you have to believe there's people out there looking without agents, because they are, right? So if you don't have listings, host 1 to 2 open houses every weekend. That's a lot. Just do one every weekend. Pick homes and move up price points and good traffic locations, whatever your area. Make sure that it makes sense with your area. Or if you don't really have an area and you just want to make some commissions and get your career going, then do that. So open houses, move up price points, make sure it's where you want to be. So you can't have it both ways. If you think people aren't signing buyer brokerage agreements, then you can't say they're not looking without agents. They're obviously out there looking. I've heard great success stories from you guys recently with open houses. And I love to hear that. And that is, guys, this takes effort right now. There is nothing. Look, we get in this thing, and we've all been there, where we kind of feel paralyzed. We're in a little bit of a slump, or the bills keep coming in and the money's not coming in, and you get a little bit of paralyzed. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. Some of you guys call me when that happens. Some of you guys just sit around and be paralyzed and struggle. Right now with AI, one good thing about AI, get on there and ask it questions, and it'll tell you what to do. I mean, these things all work. You forget about some of these things. Some of these things I forget about. These are things that I've told you guys over the last 11 years to boost your business, but I've forgotten about some of them. Let's talk about online lead funnels. We also did a training about leads and buying leads and stuff like that, because we're talking about how to spend those marketing dollars. And a lot of my trainings are how to best spend those marketing dollars. I let people come in and talk to you guys about their product, like Reminder Media, like other people who've tried to sell you other stuff, which is perfectly fine. You don't have to buy any of those things. I don't necessarily endorse them all. I bring people in if I've seen it work for people. A lot of you guys have had success with Reminder Media and stuff like that. So I've had them come in. But you guys have got to, if you've got money to spend on growing your business, you need to do that as well. And now's the time to do it. You guys wanted we lost 45 agents when out of 1,100 when the last renewals came. People have given up. You wanted the agents out who aren't full-time or who aren't, out there able to do everything. And a lot of them have gone away. So it's what you said you wanted. Now's your time to get a bigger piece of the pie. The pie is smaller right now because transactions are down, but now's your time to get a bigger piece. And when the pie gets bigger, you'll have a bigger piece of the market. That's the time. This is the time to do it if you can. And you can, because a lot of this stuff is just effort. And that's what I want to give you guys a little bit of tough love. It's right now, it's just effort. That's what is going on. People working harder are making more money. And that's not always the case. Sometimes you're just lucky and the money's flowing and everything else. But right now, people who are working hard are making more money, and this is the time to do it. You just have to do it. We're going to talk about this more down when we scroll down. We're going to see a lot more stuff about your social media stuff. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. Build a simple daily schedule. Now, this stuff is going to go along with. This is a great session for what's going to go on with our goals. Because when we do our goals, we're going to break down where you're trying to get to and how you're going to get there, and we're going to break it down on a daily basis. This is breaking it down for an hourly schedule, lead gen block, etc. Yeah, all fixed, guys. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's get back to where we were. I apologize for all that nonsense. And look, it did all the scrolling down I was trying to do. Okay, so we did Sphere. We talked about that. So lead generation, business building, all these calls and stuff. So this is just giving you a sample of what your day could look like if you're going to be working on growing your business. I know this is a tough time of the year to do that kind of stuff, but guys, the good news is nobody else is doing it. A lot of people are not doing this stuff. You guys know other realtors. You know, most of them are not doing this stuff. Who is doing it? The successful people are doing it. this kind of stuff. We talk about this. This is what we talk about with social media. And we've been through this stuff before. And this is what I like teaching you guys. You're in Florida. People love seeing all this stuff. Cost of living, there is literally, and that's another thing AI is great for. Give me some articles about what's so great about Florida right now, right? So let's say, please give me some real estate news for my social media content. So it'll think for a minute and it'll give me my news. But it will be, there's stuff like Orlando is the number 2 place in the city for retire, or number 2 place in the country for this or that or whatever it is, right? Schools in Florida are, now number 17 in the country, whatever it is, right? So it's going to come up with that stuff, but you can ask it for whatever you want and it'll give it to you. And you could ask it for content for your social media. It does all that stuff for you. But this is what it tells you. I've told you guys before, post these things, post these articles, post these things on your business page, and then occasionally link them to your personal page if you're doing Facebook. If you're doing if you're using Instagram, do stories with the links to this, share stuff, posts and stories that share to your business Instagram as well. People know you as a person, and they also need to be reminded that you're a realtor and that you're serious about it. The number one thing that does, guys, is it says, oh, that's what Tammy does for a living. That, that's who, that's someone I can talk to when I need to sell a house. But that's for your sphere. But for other people, they're going to see these things. If you're doing videos, if you're doing that kind of stuff, people are going to see that and be interested in it. And you're not doing it for likes, you're doing it for leads. Likes help, but leads help more. The more people like it, the more people view it, the more people are going to see. Other people are going to see it's going to get in other people's algorithms. But you need to do that and put your hashtags and stuff. Ask AI how to do your hashtags and stuff to get the most coverage. Let's look at what they gave me here for this. Quick plug and play caption starters. Let's see where I did that. Great housing reset projections. Redfin economists are predicting a great housing reset in 2026. Mortgage rates easing a bit more. Home prices still rising, but very slowly. Wages expected to grow faster than prices, making relative affordability slightly better over time. These are all things you can share these articles. That's from Business Insider. Look at that. Have you seriously thought about moving out of Florida because of cost? Yes or no? That kind of stuff. That gets interaction, which gets you higher on everybody's algorithm. The more engagement you have, the higher you go on everybody's algorithm. That's why you see stupid things like, anybody know a good roofer? Anybody know a good realtor? Anybody know a good lender? Everybody's going to put their people on there, right? And you're like, what is the purpose of that? Why would they do that? It's for engagement. Okay. They'll ask dumb questions like, do you do your toilet paper roll this way or that way? Right? Like you need validation of the way you do it. They don't need validation of the way they do it. What they need is engagement on their posts, and people take that stuff seriously because it can be annoying to people. People have a pet peeve about toilet paper done the wrong way, right? It has nothing to do with business, but it's about engagement, right? You guys know this has been around for 15 years. Which kitchen would you like better, this one or this one, right? And they're both kitchens that nobody can afford. It's, in a chalet overlooking the Rocky Mountains, or it's whatever, right? It's in some Lake Como in Switzerland. It's some beautiful place, right? And which one do you like better? And people are like, ooh, I like that better. People get into that stuff. People will post about sports and, geared toward men and this and that, geared toward whomever, right? They just want people to interact. So they'll pick, they'll take, what we call hot takes. They'll put something that's a little bit out there, a little bit crazy that they know will generate engagement. You'll see people post nice engagement post on some people, on some realtors, other realtors, but this is great for engagement, that kind of thing. So you want that. So Florida insurance, housing prices, stuff that's of interest to people. So that was from content. This is the stuff that they gave me, and they've got direct links to wherever this thing is. Recent analysis says only about 28 out of 1,000 U.S. homes sold this year, the lowest turnover in about 30 years from Hum Real Estate. So you can click on that article and share that article. Okay. So there's easy things you can do like that and go, what do you guys think about this kind of thing? Or give them that. Now, what I like still is from what we talked about before, which was giving them something of value. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago when we did our sphere thing too. Give them something of value. Pool homes in Lake Nona under $800,000 or whatever it is. For different areas, it'll be different numbers, right? And get people engaged in that kind of thing. And what they do, if you want to list, respond below with your email, right? Or respond below and then you DM them for their email. Whatever it is, guys, these are good leads typically. If not, it's great engagement. And so, but you're offering them something of value. You're not just saying, it's great. The ones who say, they did, another beautiful showing today, and you show this beautiful house that you showed, that's a great post because it lets people know, A, it reminds them you're a realtor. B, it shows them that you're busy and active, a real realtor out there doing real business. Even if you're not doing a showing, even if you're doing a preview of a home, you can call it a preview. You'll see realtors do, I previewed this home today. It's not for a particular client, maybe even. They're just looking at nice houses or whatever kind of house that you want to sell. Go do a showing, just yourself. And it's perfectly fine to do that and take video. You may want to clear that with the listing agent, but go show it and take a video and post your video. Look at the beautiful house I previewed today. That's it. That's all you have to do. And it's great to know what's for sale in your area. Daryl, he farms Williamsburg. Daryl needs to know what's for sale in Williamsburg. He needs to know how nice it is and what it's going for. And he can do, it helps him with his market knowledge too, to know what the house looked like when he sees that it sold for $600,000. He has previewed that house. He knows what a $600,000 house looks like now in today's market, right? So it's great for your market knowledge, great for everything. Don't just sit around. Nobody's going to knock on your door if you're watching The Price is Right. They're just not going to. You need to get out and do stuff. Okay. 3 things 500K buys you in your city right now. That's great. Is it still a good time to buy in Florida? These are not the content ones. These are the things that are giving you examples of things to post, right? Renting versus buying in Orlando, Tampa, wherever you are. Twice a week, personal story posts. Why you got into real estate, a day in your life as an agent. I know you guys don't like sharing real stuff sometimes, but that's great business stuff to post. It really is. And it doesn't, make it somewhat entertaining why you got into real estate. Tammy, you were, 10 years ago, you were a dental hygienist, right? Yeah. And 5 years later, 3, 4, how long until you were completely, Tammy's been very, very successful, guys. She's been in our top of our brokerage. It didn't take her long to get to the top. She's been an amazing transition. And I bet she has a great story about that and how it changed her life. And that's awesome. And she started as helping Gail and turned into super successful. And I'm very proud of Tammy. It was great.
Thank you.
Tammy, I'll tell you guys something else about Tammy. She doesn't mind me sharing. Tammy joined other teams after she was already more successful than the team leader, just to get the extra leads and the extra work. And I admire that and I respect that. That's great hard work that she's put in, and she's been amazingly successful. And it's changed your, Tammy, just a head nod. Has it changed your life? Yeah. And that's great.
Well, it's nice not working for a 9-to-5 job, and I could never go back to that again.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you don't want to, you have to work, guys. You have to work if you don't want to go back to a 9-to-5 job. And that's why most of us are here. I hear this all the time, guys. You guys know me. I'm pretty direct and straight shooter and a little bit of tough love sometimes. When I would talk to you guys, we used to have, before the pandemic, we do these in person. This is much better, but we would do them in person. And I would ask a room of people, why'd you guys get into real estate? And some of you guys would try to convince me that you got in to help people. And I would tell you that there are no homeless people sitting around on suitcases full of money because they couldn't find a realtor. You're not, you may have a good story about here and there where you help somebody get into a house that they wouldn't have normally gotten into, but people, you're not saving lives. Okay. You're making some people's lives better. You're working hard for them to get them the best deal, but you got into it to help your own life. And let's not, I did too. We all got into this because we didn't want someone telling us what to do all the time. Right. So whatever reason we did, or maybe we were just maybe we got tricked into it because we saw some super successful realtor and we thought it was easy, and they made it look easy, so we thought it would. Oh, realtors show beautiful houses and they're always on cruises, and that's how it is, and they make six figures and don't do anything. They're always happy, because that's how people make it look sometimes. And some people, they're like that because they've worked hard and they have that that thing. Tammy, you remember Gail? Gail did great, and she was always on a vacation and doing. That's why you probably worked with her. That's why she needed you, because she was always on vacation and doing great. But Gail had 25 years already at that time of a Rolodex, because we've been around a while, a Rolodex of clients, right? So it did look
It is
easy.
scary going though from a full-time paying job with vacation and benefits and making the jump into full-time real estate. It's pretty scary, but I was prepared for that, but it is scary.
Have you ever seen the Steve Harvey thing about making a jump, about the jump thing? You should Google Steve Harvey jump, and he talks about making that jump that he had to do at some point. And it is scary, and you guys are brave, and I love you guys, and that's why I love the sales stuff. I love you guys. I want you to be happy. I want you to be successful. And all you got to do is follow something. And people, you guys have asked me over the years, should I follow, Craig Proctor or the Ferry or, whoever? And I say, yes, just do something and do it and stick with it, and you'll be successful. I could start my own thing and just pick one of these things and say, do that. The unique selling proposition, I think, is the Proctor thing and all that stuff. It's you follow it, and it may seem silly, it may whatever, but if you follow it, because if you're following it, you're working. Because he has, and they all do. They have the things. If you're going to follow me, you better do this, 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 and this. And for some reason, people just jump onto that. It's your personality. Some of you guys do, and some of you guys don't. But if you have those coaches that you're paying for, they say on Tuesday you do this, on Wednesday you do that, Thursday you do this, and you guys do that, and you're going to be successful because you're going to be working hard and doing and something consistent towards something, and it will work. If your thing is calling expireds and that's what you do, you will be successful if you actually do it every day. If your thing is FISBOs, you will be successful if you actually do it every day. If your thing is picking up garbage and doing the things in Williamsburg, like Daryl does, and getting out there and being Williamsburg's realtor, you will be successful. Pick something and stick with it, and you will be successful. Something that's worked before for people. Now, I don't know if going around and walking people's dogs for free or something is going to be worth your time and thing. If that's your idea of mixing your passions of real estate and dogs, I don't know if that's going to. I just made that up. That might work for somebody, but it might not. I mean, do something that's been proven to work for people, and you'll be successful, guys. You really will. You just got to put in the work. And what you guys don't like is what we just talked about up here. See this, Tammy? This looks a lot like working for somebody, doesn't it? 9 to 11, 10 to 9 to 5. Just what you didn't want to do, right? And this is, you might have to do this for a little while. I went to school, and by the time I got out of, it took me a long time to get my degree. By the time I did, I already was working in commercial real estate. I knew I wasn't going to use my finance degree, but the people I was going to school with were going to go work for Edward Jones or Charles Schwab, or do something for 3 to 5 years of making phone calls before they really made any livable wage, right? They were going to have to live in mom and dad's house for 3 to 5 years while they made phone calls. And they had to make those phone calls 9 to 5 and 3 to 5 years. But you know what? The people I went to school with now, they're doing great, I'm sure, if they put in that 3 to 5 years, right? Some of the other ones probably just started waiting tables and bartending, and they're probably still doing that. I don't know. I don't know what they all did, but that was what most of them were going to have to do, was go do this for 5 years, exactly this kind of thing, calling doctors' offices and stuff and trying to get people to invest in whatever stock they were pushing that day, for better or for worse. And that's what they were going to have to do. And hopefully some of those stocks would hit and those clients would keep coming back to them, right? That was the whole point of what they were going to have to do, my classmates. I already just had 7 years into getting a degree, so 4-year degree. So I just kept going until I finished. But that's what they were doing. And that's work. And it is. And it's real estate's the same way. You don't have to do this forever, right? And you can make a good living. You do this for a little while and you will be very successful. And I know you guys don't want to hear that. You want to hear that you can just show houses and do this and that. But no, work the open house. You don't have to do 9 to 5 every day. If your thing is working open houses, then do that. But also do all the follow-up and stuff like that. You probably need to mix a few strategies to get started. But if you're already going a little bit and you're doing your strategies working well and you want to do a little bit more, you're not all the way to your goal, which obviously you guys aren't, or you wouldn't be on this call today. If you were happy with how much you were making and you were kicked back, you'd probably be sitting on a beach right now and not listening to me, right? So you guys, even those of you, I see faces of people right now who do well in this business and have done well for many years in this business, and they still want to do better. And that's why you're here. So pick another little thing to add to what you're doing. We talk about this all the time. Being a soccer parent, being in the PTA, being in the Chamber of Commerce, doing your shows that Daryl does, the monthly market or whatever that he does, getting a table there, picking up the trash for different things that he does be part of his community, different things you all do be part of your community. You get 3 deals a year from this, you get 2 deals a year from that, you get 1 from that, you get this, and you mix and match them before you know you've got 20 deals a year, 30 deals a year, whatever your goal is. So, and maybe your goal is 5 and you only get 1 from this, 1 from that, you get from 5 different sources. You're going to have, a relative sell a house every year. Hopefully you get that deal. You're going to have those kind of things. So put together some more stuff. And if you're 75% to way to your goal, add another one, add 2 more different ways to get business. If you don't have a magnet on your car, assuming you're not cutting everybody off on the highway, get a magnet on your car, get a name tag, those kind of things. If you want an extra $5, $10, $15, $20, $30,000 a year, get a $12 name tag from House of Magnets, which is on your welcome email. Guys, do it and wear it. People will talk to you. Do those things. Talk to people. Don't be shy. Don't be a secret agent. Be out there and do this. Some of you guys, your ego is what's making you not want to share that you're a realtor. Do you think Daryl has an ego when he's picking up? He literally has the opposite of an ego when he's picking up trash in his neighborhood. He wants to pick up trash to be a good helper of his neighborhood, a good steward in his neighborhood, but he's also getting business out of it. And they know he's Daryl, the realtor who picks up trash. And I love that. And because what does that say? Daryl cares about his community. He does not just in it for commission. If he's not in it, he's not worried about ego. He's out there picking up trash, literally serving his community, literally. And so that's Daryl. I love that, and I know that gets you business. I absolutely know it does. So people think he's out there picking it up for free. He's not. He's out there picking it up eventually for money, but he's also feels good about himself. He feels good when he drives down the neighborhood and doesn't see Burger King bag on the side of the road. He loves it, and it's great. It's wonderful. I love that he does that. I love that he does the $25, $50 table every month at the thing. I love that he does the table. I love that he does all that kind of stuff. So he's part of his neighborhood. He's part of the fabric of that neighborhood, and a good part of the fabric, not just a guy who goes and collects commission at the closing table. So add something to what you're doing, and you'll do great. You'll get that extra 20% business that you need to reach your goals. Now that I have a cursor, I'm going to check this chat.
Thank you for all the compliments. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate your work, you and Tammy both. And I'm not just saying that because your cameras are on. You guys have been here a long time, and I've seen you grow. I've seen you do great stuff, and I love the way you guys do business. I really do. It makes me happy. So I get personal satisfaction from you guys being successful, from you guys being doing the things that you do. Brian, if you're going to bet on, yes. Yeah, if you're going to bet, you bet on yourself. Absolutely. That's from the Jump conversation. A very close friend has been doing real estate in Pawtucket since 1970. He put the time in. The business comes to him. When I'm with him, he always gets many clients calling him. He's very wealthy. Lou Hobner. Yes, I've heard of Lou Hobner. You guys know lots of successful realtors, and they get calls all the time. I tell you guys about my friend Ron, the realtor, all the time. He's a complete jerk, but every time I'm with him, he gets phone calls, right? And that's part of his business file. You guys have seen him post on Facebook and stuff. He's a jerk, but he gets business calls all the time, and people come to him. And it's because he's worked hard, very long. And his favorite saying is, nobody cares, work harder, right? When you guys, not you guys, because he doesn't know you guys, but when people complain to him, he says, nobody cares, work harder. And that's what he does. So, and it proves you don't have to be a sweetheart to be successful in the business. He would love me talking about him like this. You don't have to be a sweetheart to be successful in the business. You do have to work hard. Helps to be a sweetheart, but you do have to work hard. Yes, Christina.
Who are you talking about?
Ron, the realtor. If you ever have a problem with Ron, call me and I'll call him.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I was just gonna say, everybody just needs to be doing the work to just be found online. Like what you were saying. Like, I get leads from social media and from, the web. And there's people that have many, many, hundreds of thousands of followers, or 10, I have a friend that has 15,000 followers. She never gets any leads from social media. So you just gotta, and I got a great lead. Somebody asked Surrey for a realtor, and Surrey connected him to me. So that, and the other thing is, now's a great time. I do this every year. Do a pop by, send a holiday card. Pop by with some Christmas candy or a plant or a poinsettia or something. It's a great excuse to get in front of your sphere.
Yeah, that is absolutely wonderful, and it's a great time of year for that. And Christina is another one. I didn't know you were on the call because your camera's not on. I can only see a few people when the screen's doing it. But Christina's another one. She has a selling funny. She does all kinds of videos. She does all kinds of reels. She does funny stuff. She does all kinds of stuff to reach all kinds of people. And the reason Siri did that, and I don't know this for a fact, but I'm assuming it's because she has engagement, and Siri picks up, if you're making a lot of waves, people are going to pick you up, and Siri picks that up. We had somebody join our brokerage yesterday who was just Googling, and we popped up, because we're out there doing stuff, we're posting stuff, and we popped up. So we're also doing social media campaigns and stuff like that for our brokerage as well. And that stuff is popping up. By the way, we still need more. We're getting them, but we need more testimonials. If you guys love what we do, give us a testimonial, please contact me and I'll hook you up with it. And there are prizes for the best testimonials and stuff. So yes, that's great. And thank you, Christina. And it's a great time for pop-bys. This is, you guys, if you guys had a crush on somebody, you find reasons to talk to them, right? You find reasons to do that. You have a crush on your customers, have a crush on your sphere of influence, find a reason, your past clients. You're not going to stop by everybody's house in your sphere of influence. You'd be crazy. But your past clients, stop by and, like Christina said, give them some holiday candy. It's a great reason. And you want face-to-face with these people. Remind them that you're their realtor. And you'll be surprised how often they say, you know what? I was just talking to my uncle last week, and he wants to move down to Florida because his kids are down here, blah, 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 right? So that there are people who will just be like, it's not top of mind. It's not their business. Their business is doing a million other things. They're not realtors. You are. So when you pop up in their face, they're going to say, oh, you know what? Thank you so much for stopping by. Whatever. And everybody appreciates that. If somebody stopped by my house right now, my plumber stopped by with candy, that'd be great. Right. I mean, they're not going to, but if they did, that would be great. They'd be better off going outside and smashing my pipes and be like, hey, you got a problem? Happen to be in the neighborhood. So, yeah, so that's a great reason. Always look for reasons to stop by. We just had Thanksgiving. Hey, I'm thankful for you guys. This holiday season, I want to tell you, I'm thankful for you guys and give you best wishes for next year or whatever. If you happen to know, give them a personal handwritten thing. If you know that they're super into Christmas or they're super into Hanukkah or whatever they're into, give them a note about whatever or if they're not into any of that stuff, it's still a holiday season for everybody. So happy holidays to everybody. Get whatever they're into, make it a little bit personal. You guys should have in your CRM or your spreadsheet, you should have their kids' names and how old they are roughly, and etc. And if you're following their social media, look at their Facebook before you go over there. If somebody just died or something, don't ask about them. If their dog just passed away, you can find out a lot about people by looking at their social media, a lot of them, right? Which is why a lot of us don't like to share a lot of personal stuff, real personal stuff on our social media. But they do, and check it out and go do it. It's part of work, guys. It's all work. But it's also great socializing and great everything else. So become the obvious go-to agent in one neighborhood or condo complex. That's Daryl for you. That's Williamsburg Daryl. That is what he wants to do. Picks a farm of 300 to 500 homes. Daryl, how many homes in a lot more than that in Williamsburg, right?
Yeah, 1,400 plus.
Okay, perfect. And he's been doing it a while, so I bet 1,200 of them know who Daryl is. Send one postcard, market update, walk the neighborhood, knock around your listings or open houses. And what a great way to talk to other people. You've got a listing right down the street. You have a reason to be knocking on their door. Hey guys, we'll let you know that I know sometimes you just want to go in and see what people have done to their houses. This one's right down the street, especially if you have, Daryl doesn't have this because Williamsburg's an older place, but a lot of cookie cutter, newer neighborhoods have the same model. Every fifth house is the same model. And you go down there and say, hey, even if you're just interested and nosy about what they're doing, just make a joke about it. Even if you're just nosy about what they did down here, come on down. I don't mind you coming down and being a looky-loo, whatever, kicking the tires, whatever you want to do, right? So a lot of people do that. You guys know that when you do open houses, a lot of nosy neighbors come in and see what they've done. I go check out anything in my neighborhood. I go check it out just to see what the realtor's doing, to see, like, do they have oven? Do they have cookies in the oven? Do they have, whatever? And those guys, we did an open house presentation maybe 6 months ago or something. It's that time to have cookies in the oven again. We didn't have to do it when the market was booming and it was just like, you better get your offer in right now, pal. And we didn't have to do open houses. But now that we're doing them again and we're begging buyers to buy stuff, be a good thing to have cookies in the oven. Set your property apart and set your, let them know. It also lets them know that you're a good realtor, that you care, that you're out there trying to do that. I would want a realtor. If I had a realtor who did an open house and they had making cookies, I would think that's the kind of realtor I'd want working for me, right? Being my realtor. If I were going to buy a house, I'd want somebody, or sell my house. When I have an open house in my house, I want the realtor who's making cookies, right? Not the one who just looks like they got there 5 minutes before and threw, something on the counter. Scripts for common situations, and guys, you can just Google these. It's very great to have responses on hand. We have a friend who's an agent. We're just looking. We'll call you when we're ready. You guys know when you're being brushed off, right? There's great scripts for those kind of things as well. I don't know that you need to practice for 10 to 15 minutes a day, but I think you just need to have, a couple things to say. Always, when you're doing this, look for, when you do Google advice on this kind of stuff, they're going to tell you to validate their feelings, right? Oh, I understand waiting for rates to drop, but blah, 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 right? Have a tight, repeatable process for sellers, 30 to 45 minutes with pricing strategy, market. Okay, we're talking about listing presentations, all that. We've done those as well. All of this kind of stuff, guys, make sure you've done all of this. It's a great time to tell you about Antonio. Antonio can help you with all of this stuff. Antonio is our marketing coordinator. He will help you with this stuff for free, getting all this stuff set up for you. Okay. It is free to do, most of it. And he will help you with that stuff if you can't figure it out yourself. Most of the stuff you can figure out yourself. But that's what Antonio does for you guys as well. And I'm going to see. And Antonio's on the call right now. Yes, Christina.
I just wanted to, maybe random, but I just wanted to remind everybody we have a great tool through Florida Realtors called Forewarn. So before you meet anybody that you don't know, run their name, their full name, or their number through it, and it'll give you like a background check so you can know who you're dealing with.
There you go. Yes, so be safe as well. All right, in the next 30 days, this is kind of things that this is the Jumpstart Challenge, a simple 30-day Jumpstart Challenge. And this is all based off me telling them I'm trying to jumpstart my real estate. Talk to 100 people, 4 to 5 per workday. That's all, guys. That's not a lot, really. Host 4 to 8 open houses in the next 30 days. That would be a lot, but set realistic goals for yourself too. Remember the SMART goals, which we will be going over, but they have to be, the R is for realistic. Achievable, actually the A is for achievable. Post 20, but don't make a thing. I'm gonna, make $1 million next year if you sold 2 houses last year. Just make it reasonable stuff. Okay. Post 20 plus pieces of content. This you should be doing every month. Add 100 contacts to your CRM and tag them. I don't know about that being a great strategy. We'll talk about that. 30 plus properties in your core area. Preview 30 plus properties in your core area. That's 1 a day. I would suggest doing that once a week and going to do 3, 4, 5 of them. You won't get to 30, but you'll get to 20. Make that something achievable that you can do, and post these things. When you guys have clients and you do showings, take videos and post them. Okay. Show that guys, you can't overdo this. People aren't going to block you. They only look at your social media. It's not emails. It's not email marketing where people block you if you do too much, right? This is stuff. If you don't want to watch somebody frankly, when I see them and they're not of any interest to me, I just go to the next, right? So if people are interested, they'll watch them. If they're not, they won't. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyone who likes you, ask for Google and Zillow reviews. Okay? Ask for those. Don't be afraid to ask for that. I just asked you guys for testimonials. That's what I want from you guys. And if you'll do Google reviews for our brokerage, that would be great too. This thing will write a very specific 7-day action plan for you. If you tell it all of this stuff, it's going to write stuff for you. Okay? And then I asked it for content. Okay? And that's where we got all of this stuff. There's absolutely no lack of content. There's nothing, guys. And this is where the tough love comes in a little bit. There's no excuse for this, for not working and not being successful. You can do it. Every one of you guys, you do not have to be a movie star. You do not have to be anything else to do these videos, to do this, to have a social media presence, to have a personal presence. You just have to have courage, and you just have to drop your ego and be a salesperson for a little bit. Timid salespeople have skinny kids. I tell you guys that all the time. Don't be timid. You're going to go broke. You've got to get out there and let people know who you are. And that's what I respect so much about what Daryl does. Daryl's literally out there picking up trash, serving his community. That is the opposite of being timid. That is wonderful. And I think the world, and he talks to people. He sees people in their yard. You go around
and getting my steps in. It's not just about litter pickup. I'm getting my steps.
Getting his steps in.
Yeah, exactly. I was walking. I started doing some more exercise. So I was walking around the neighborhood, and the neighbor told me, he goes, you're going to build a little ring around the block here because you keep walking around the block. And I'm like, right? That's really stupid. So I'm like, what can I do while I walk? And I'm like, pick up litter. And it works.
It's brilliant.
Now I get my steps. I pick up litter. It helps the neighborhood. It helps the home values. People love it. I posted on Facebook showing them how much litter I picked up, and it's worked. I've done it now for 3 or 4 or 5 years now. Plus, I was going to mention, now that I'm talking, I just passed my 1-year anniversary on Yard of the Month. So I've been doing the Yard of the Month for Williamsburg for the past year. November was my 1-year anniversary. I usually get 4, 5, sometimes 6 homes from people on Facebook. You have to nominate your neighbor, because what I did is I went out and got small businesses here in Williamsburg to donate. And now I have over $500 worth of prizes from small businesses here, including myself. And I give that away every month to a lucky homeowner, whoever has the best yard. And I'm the one that picks the best yard. So it makes it easy. I also, actually, this month is my 2nd year anniversary on my holiday light display. So I also have a contest for the best holiday light display. So now this month I have 2 contests going. It happens once a year in December. But everybody gets on board on that. I posted it on all the Facebook pages and everything, and I've got I think I've got 2 or 3 nominations already, and people they get into that. They like the Yard of the Month, and then when I do my table, I show my Yard of the Month and I show my holiday display contest signs at my table. And so they know me that I'm doing that on Facebook, and I get all kinds of people coming up to me and congratulating me and saying how they love it. And they always want to hear who's the new winner every month. And it just keeps my name out there.
Not that I'm going to duplicate this, but just out of curiosity, did you go around to business? Did you do it all by Facebook, or did you go around to businesses and ask them for like a $25 gift card or?
Actually, most of them actually contacted me.
Okay.
Because I announced that I was having a Yard of the Month, and they're like, can we get into that? Can we give something for that? And I'm like, sure. And once 1 or 2 people started it, then I started asking, and actually other businesses started asking as well and I got the momentum going up. Like I said, now it's over $500 worth of gifts. So awesome. I give out a what's my gift? I give out a Blink camera every month. Nice. And it is just something to do, and it's something that keeps the community going and keeps the community looking good, and everybody loves it, and I'll just keep on doing it.
On a side note, unrelated, I want to congratulate Daryl on his 12th consecutive Yard of the Month that he's won. That he's gifted himself. He's giving yourself $500 every month. That's a great scam, Daryl. I love it. I'm kidding. No, that's great work, man. That is awesome. And it's kind of the $500 something you just it was just for the prestige when you started it, and then the $500 is just kind of something you.
It started like I had enough people to where it was like $400 a month, and people kept on calling me, and wanting to add on to it. So of course I said, yeah.
But it is a lot of like $25 gift cards and stuff like that to different places, or
couple $25 gift cards. I've got a couple businesses that give away. I have an AC company that gives away service, and it's the service either residential or commercial. So residential is $89, commercial is $189. So that's almost a $200 prize. I've got a handyman in the area that lives here that gives away a $100 gift card. I've got an events company. I've got a lady, the Williamsburg Reef lady, and she gives a reef, a nice door, and they're really nice actually. They're worth like what, from $50 to $75 that I give away a reef every month to the winner. Just all kinds of business. A cat babysitting business. She gives away, I think, $50. An events coordinator business. Just all kinds.
Fantastic.
It's all over the place. Yeah.
Fantastic. And you can give them $1,000 off their next house.
Something, whatever works.
Daryl gives them the amount of trash he collected for the year.
I used to joke with people. Yeah, that's great. You might find something good in there, Daryl. You ever find something good picking up trash? No.
I found a couple gift cards, which of course I brought them inside after I washed them. So I brought them inside and I checked to see if there was any balances. Of course not. I know. Lots of lottery tickets that people throw out their window that are not winners. Couple Publix gift cards that had no money left on them. I mean, just stupid stuff.
Okay, so no.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right, Jacques. Jacques, did you mean to raise your hand? Okay, no. If you're talking, your mute is on. I don't know if you're talking. All right. Okay, so I just love all that stuff that you guys are doing. That's wonderful. Do you guys have any? So next week we're going to get started on goals. Go ahead, Tammy.
I just have a question. So I'm working with a couple. I've been working with them for a while. We are looking at out in Winter Garden. We're looking at like $2 million homes. But they're really picky, so they might want to. I did find some lots out in Winter Garden, kind of in the area they're looking. And they're from Brazil, and their finances, I mean, they get approved. But I was going to suggest that they buy the lot cash. But then I'm like, I'm probably shooting myself in the foot, because I probably would not get any commission on the architectural and the building of the house part. So would you just keep your mouth shut and let them do the whole big picture? And then
why would they need to do cash for the lot? What advantage is that?
Well, I don't know. I thought it might be an advantage. I thought it might be easier to get a no.
No,
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I mean, they're going to have to put 30% down, maybe even 50 because of the thing.
Yeah, they have a lot. They have a lot of money. They were going to probably put $500,000-$600,000 down. So that's what I thought. Well, maybe they should buy the lot and then they own the lot and they could build on it. But
they're going to have to put $500,000 or $600,000 toward the house.
Right.
$2 million, all encompass $2 million. But no, I'd go find them a builder.
Yes, we're gonna do that after the first year.
Yeah, that would be the first thing I would do. Look at some lots and stuff. Pick out a lot they want. Maybe even get under contract, but get a builder in the meantime, and the builder will pay you 3% too.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Any questions? So next week we're going to start goals. Guys, don't shy away from goals. This is what we talked about today. You guys have got to be inspired. You guys have got to get out there and do the work. Goal setting helps. It really does help. It's one more thing to hold you accountable. And if you guys want to find somebody else within the group to hold yourselves accountable, that would be great. I can help orchestrate some of that if you need it. And just contact me. Any other things before we go? Apologize for our guest no showing and kind of a makeshift presentation today, but we're doing. I think it's helpful, hopefully, for you guys. Yes, Juan.
Sorry, I was muted. I hear you say look for the builder, and I wanted to find out, does any of you have any experience with modular homes in Florida?
I want to say I have some experience, but just through other people doing it. What is your question about it?
Well, I wanted to, yeah, because I've always heard about it, and I started reading a little bit more, and it seems to be very comparable with a site built type of building style. They have the same mortgage, insurance, and regulations, and etc. And I just wanted to compare prices of how much and timing. So, but I know that you have to be very careful who, like if you were to get like anything, like any builder, because there's so many of them now that, it's always better to go with somebody that is recommended or other people have worked with.
I have seen, so I'll tell you what I've seen. I have looked at that some, and what I've seen is that the prices aren't that much better than what you would get from a builder, like a traditional house. They've lifted the prices up to where, yeah, it's a little cheaper, but for a little lesser product, it's harder to resell, etc. So
I agree. At the beginning, I thought it was 25-30% less, but maybe the manufacturers are like that. But I think the speed is probably the most advantage that they have, the speed on it. And I guess if you go to places that are very expensive and they allow modular homes, then it might be a bigger difference. But in areas where houses are between 200,000 and 300,000, it's almost like no difference between one and the other. But I was just curious. I actually want to go and see one of these places, see what the whole thing is about. So I figured maybe somebody here had worked with modular home fabricators before, but in Florida.
I worked with them back in 2000, before the bust of 2008. I worked with them a little bit. They were probably about $60 a foot back then to build of them. Yeah, and when traditional houses were, traditional builds were $125 a foot. Now I wouldn't even.
Are they still in business?
Closer. I know that they are like 20% cheaper, but also they're harder to sell. So, and they're of lesser quality. I mean, obviously lesser sturdiness. They're nice. They're beautiful. They're nice on the inside. I mean, everything's nice. It's easy, but they're put together.
Yeah, for 10-20%, it's hard to make that decision because sometimes you think about it. If it's 30%, you might even say, even for a rental, you won't sell it just for a rental, but 10% it makes it a little. Yeah,
less. I think as a rental, I wouldn't care so much because the rentals will resell because people don't care as long as the rent is right. It makes sense.
Yeah,
they're at least $200 a foot now.
Yeah, it's. I just want to. I'll check it. Do you know any particular one in Florida that you? No,
I don't remember any from back then, and I don't even know if they're still around. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's cool.
Jacques, are you ready to talk about this, Jacques? All right, I put his hand down before. Jacques, you're muted if you're trying to talk. There's a distinction with mobile. We're talking about modular, but yeah, they're built to hurricane code. They have to be. But if they're rentals, then people don't. Nobody cares. The next investor will buy them, assuming that the rent makes sense. Any other questions before we go? All right, guys. Next week is goals. We're all excited about goals. We'll do it again. It's going to be part 1 next week. You don't have to have your goals ready yet, but have some ideas about some of the things that you want to make goals about. Jacques, you're with us.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have a question about the vacant land.
Okay.
I need to buy it. Like I see, I don't get all information I need in the MLS.
Okay.
So how can I do it? Because they don't have a closing closing agents. Talo company is not in MLS.
Okay, so the property's not in MLS at all?
It's in MLS, but it's missed some creation.
Oh, talk to the listing agent. Are they not responding?
I'm sorry.
The listing agent is not responding to you?
Yeah. So I called him. I asked him about that because they've issued me the text message, but for the information. But to me, I don't think it's accurate because it's not in MLS. Some information in MLS, some is not.
Okay. So you're talking to the listing. You have talked to the listing agent?
Yeah, I tell him about that. He said he's gonna text me some the
Okay.
missing information.
Okay, but he didn't do it?
Yeah.
Well,
What?
I don't know what he's not a very good agent then.
What kind of information is it missing?
Like title company and is missing title company and closing agents.
Okay, I would just submit the offer and figure that out later. Just make sure you got a deal before you worry about all that.
Okay.
And just, send that. A lot of people don't put, 2 years ago, there wasn't even an option to put a title company on the MLS. So we always would just contact people and ask them, who the title company was. So yeah, just contact them and ask them or submit the offer and make sure you get a deal before you worry about title company. I know it's not ideal, but that's
Okay. And one more thing. And vacant land. What is TBD mean in the vacant land?
to be determined. I don't know where is that on the thing. TBD typically means to be determined.
TBD. I see that TBD.
What field is that in? What section of the MLS?
In this section, let me see.
Probably the interest rate.
Okay, hold on. Oh, like you say, improvement, land improvement, and below that.
Okay, so they don't know what kind of land improvement is. There's no land improvement, is what they're trying to say. So it's to be determined. Whatever you want to do with it is what they're saying. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure why they would even fill that in.
Okay.
Is it a residential lot or a commercial lot?
Residential.
Jacques, what's the address of it?
Address is is it 06? That's an MLS number.
No, I guess, yeah.
06 23 56 89. This is in Claremont, Florida. 34870.
Yeah, I got it. Sawyer's Road. Oh, I'm gonna share this with you guys. I'm looking for your TBDs. Doesn't have water or sewer, so you're gonna have to get septic and well. Taxes are $21.
What's the price? Oh, there it goes. Is it landlocked or is there a road to it?
20,000.
Yeah, it looks like landlocked.
Landlocked?
It looks like it's landlocked. Yeah,
Ergo the price.
yeah. And that 34714 is down south by Four Corners. Okay. Well, I mean, that's. I thought I saw something that.
But don't they have to disclose that?
It shows it on the
Listing?
road. It shows that it's near the road. I guess that's it. ample space to build your dream home. It might not be landlocked, guys. It might be, I mean, you might have an easement through property. That's not, you can't tell that by just looking. Obviously it needs a lot of development though. I don't see your TBDs though.
Oh, no, it's
I
not
would-
that one. That's another one.
It does have a
I
dirt
would
road.
look at the county property appraiser website and see how they have it outlined as a boundary. That'll tell you if it's landlocked or not.
Okay.
All right. But I don't see, yeah, they didn't put this is not a,
For TDB, no, it's not that one. It is another one. I don't have that with me.
oh, it's a different one. Okay. So yeah,
Different one.
465 days on the market and whatever. But I mean, it's there's no good listing or bad listing. It's whatever your client wants. But there you go. Yeah, if they want to spend $20,000 on a lot, that's what they're going to get. And there you go. He probably doesn't have the title company on there because they never thought he'd sell it.
Yeah, no title company, no closing agency, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's fine. So just you can send that blank. Send them an offer with that part blank.
Blank like this.
Blank. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, buddy. You bet. All right. Any other questions before we go? All right, guys. I will see you next week, and I look forward to it. We'll start on our goals, our SMART goals, and we'll start on that next week. I appreciate you guys. Go out and see your clients. Go out and get started on some of this stuff. This is a great time of year to go talk to people about whatever. Great time for a pop by. Great time to tell them, you know, Thanksgiving just came and went, and I was so thankful for you guys, and I wanted to drop you off a little something for the holidays, whatever it is, right? So you know your clients. Go touch base with them. This is the time to do that. So we get to do this now. We'll wish them a happy new year. We'll talk to them in February for if they bought with you last year for their homestead. We've got lots of reasons to talk to people. You guys thought I was going to say Valentine's Day, but that's not it. But you do that too. But I love my clients. Seriously, I love my clients with a big heart, you know, whatever it is. So you guys take care, but get out and see people this week. All right. Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Ryan.